What's up, y'all? By popular demand, we have a top 5 list going on. We're going to run it back to the NBA. I did a top 5 on top NFL players to never make the Super Bowl. Never win the Super Bowl. Today we're going to do a top 5 NBA list. Top 5 players to never win an NBA championship. It was requested, so I like to listen to my subscribers. So we're going to do it now. We're going to get right into it. As usual, I'm going to start with my honorable mentions. I only got 2 of them. Let's dive right in. First honorable mention, Elgin Baylor. We're going back with that one. We're going back. But Elgin Baylor, known for playing with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was an 11-time All-Star. And he actually, one of the main reasons why he made this list, not just because he's a great player and an all-time Laker, number retired in the rafters up there at Staples Center, Crypto Arena, that's what they call it now. But he made the NBA Finals 7 times. That's almost unheard of. Now, obviously, back then, it was less teams. It's easier to make the finals if you playing with a team like a franchise like the Lakers. You playing next to a guy like Wilt Chamberlain and the like. I mean, the Lakers is just a historic franchise. Them and the Celtics is probably the 2 most historic franchises in the NBA. But making the finals 7 times and not winning one championship, come on now. But Elgin Baylor was definitely, I had to put him on here for my honorable mention. Didn't make the top 5, but this top 5 is stacked, so you know. So Elgin Baylor, an honorable mention. Next honorable mention is Reggie Miller, Mr. Pacer himself. Reggie Miller played his whole career with the Indiana Pacers. He was a 5-time All-Star, a 3-point specialist. He had a lot of those 3-point records before guys like Ray Allen and also obviously Steph Curry came around. He was that 3-point guy. He did make the NBA Finals once, I believe. He made it, I believe they ran into the Lakers. That was like 2000, year 2000 when he made it. So he did have the one appearance, but couldn't get over that hump. Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, obviously, one of the best players of all time. He could play defense. He could shoot the 3. He could score. So those are my 2 honorable mentions. So let's get into it. Let's get into this top 5. All right, y'all. Number 5, I got Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing, the longtime New York Knick, he played in 11 All-Star games. He was also a Rookie of the Year. And he was a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, Patrick Ewing was the man. Patrick Ewing was good. Dare I say, slightly underrated in the, in the who's of the NBA greatest players. Don't get me wrong. He's obviously ranked high in the masses. He's top 75 player in the Hall of Fame, but Patrick Ewing don't get all the credit I think he deserves. Like, Patrick was a winner. He was. If it wasn't for Jordan and them guys, I think Patrick, if it wasn't for Jordan and the Bulls, Patrick Ewing would have at least 1 NBA Finals. I believe he did make 1 Finals appearance. I believe, let's say 99. He might have made 2. I don't have it down here, but he might have made 2. I know he made it in that lockout season in 99. He made the finals, and they got beat by the Spurs. And I believe he made it 1 more time, but don't quote me on that. But he at least made the finals once. Like I said, Patrick Ewing, hell of a player. Could play defense, could rebound. I mean, he could do it all. Let's get to number 4. Number 4, Allen Iverson. Couldn't have AI off this list, and that's not just because I'm a Sixers fan. Allen Iverson was a trendsetter, icon, one of the best that could do it on and off the court because he inspired so many people from that generation, from the late 90s to the early 2000s. Iverson, a phenomenon in the NBA, one of the greatest players. Give y'all some stats from, he was an MVP. He was a 4-time scoring champ, 11-time All-Star. Spent most of his career in Philly. Started in 96. Left, went out to Denver, came back to Philly. He went out to Denver for a cup of coffee, came back to Philly, and then he went elsewhere from there. I believe Detroit and the likes, but that wasn't even for a cup of coffee. That was for a sip of coffee. He's definitely a Sixer. Allen Iverson was a scoring machine. Had some flaws to his game. He didn't play a lot of defense, obviously, but when you think of greatest players that never win the title, Allen Iverson rings a bell in a lot of people's mind, and he definitely rang a bell in mine. So I had to put him on this list at number 4. We getting up there. I know y'all like, damn, Iverson number 4, Ewing number 5. Who could the top 3 be? Like, who is it? At number 3, I got John Stockton. John Stockton played his entire career in Utah. His entire career. Over 15,000 assists. Over 3,000 steals. You talk about one of the greatest passers, if not the greatest passer. Maybe outside of Magic. Maybe I'll give Magic the greatest passer, but Stockton was right there with him. John Stockton could score when he had to, but he wasn't known for scoring. He was known for facilitating and putting guys in position to win and to succeed. And those Jazz teams succeeded quite often. Stockton made it to 2 NBA Finals. Couldn't get over that hump. Ran into Jordan. I mean, what more is there to say? He ran into Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls, and could not win a title. It is what it is, but John Stockton is number 3. By the way, on my list, I like to give credit to everybody. Allen Iverson did make the NBA Finals once, ran into the Lakers. They did win one game, which was miraculous within itself with the team he had around him. So they won game 1, but then got pushed out after that in 5 games. So just to, go back on that. So yeah, John Stockton, number 3. Number 2, I got Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley is the second best player in NBA history to never win the NBA Finals. Charles Barkley was a rebounder machine. He was actually known for his rebounding damn near more than his scoring. He was a scorer too. He could score some points. He carried a heavy set on him, but he was so athletic at the same time. He was like Zion Williamson before Zion, without the injuries. Not a knock on Zion, but I had to throw that in there. Zion catching strays in this video. Wow. But no, Charles Barkley was the man. He also won the MVP. He was 11-time All-NBA. Not 11-time All-Star. 11-time All-NBA. Charles Barkley played, he's known as a Sixer overall, but he had more success over there in Phoenix. If I'm just being, he had more winning success. I mean, he won his MVP in Philly. But, no, he won his MVP in, did he win his MVP in Philly? Wait, I'm tripping. I think he won his MVP he won his MVP in Phoenix. If I'm not, either way, he had more team success over there in Phoenix. But he's known as a Sixer. His younger years was all with the Sixers. That's where he was grabbing all them rebounds, being the putback machine. I mean, he could grab some offensive boards too. Charles Barkley, a lot of y'all younger guys know him for what he do on TV now. I remember Charles Barkley, the player. Not a whole lot in his early career, but right before he left the Sixers and definitely in Phoenix, Charles Barkley was the man. Don't let that bald head and that round stomach fool you. Charles Barkley was the man in his day. And that's why he number 2 on this list. Had to give it to him. So we had number 1. The number 1 NBA player to not win an NBA championship, drum roll, Karl Malone. Let that digest a little bit for y'all. I'm going to let that digest for the people that forgot about. Because a lot of people forget. Now, say what you will about his off the court or what type of person he was. Karl Malone was one of the best NBA players I ever seen. I mean, the guy was a power forward, but had that mid-range shot was almost automatic. That mid-range jumper, that 18-footer, 15-footer, whatever you want to call it, was almost automatic. Defenders had to step out there and contest that, or it was lights out. Could pass for a big man. Could rebound. Played some defense too. Wasn't known as a defensive prowess, but could play it, you know. Karl Malone, the 4-time all NBA player, he got 2 MVPs. 2. And he also, I'm going to say Karl Malone made the finals 3 times. Because Malone played most of his career in Utah with John Stockton. They made the finals twice. But when Karl, at the end of his career, he went out to Los Angeles for one last hurrah, and actually made the NBA Finals, but they got beat. I believe they got beat by Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. You know, don't quote me on everything, but you definitely could quote me on Karl Malone being number 1. If y'all can think of another, and now I want to also preface this. My NBA, my this list I have here, the top 5 and the honorable mentions, is for all players that are already retired. So the Chris Pauls of the world and the James Hardens of the world don't pertain to this list because they still playing. So I get a lot of people, even on my NFL countdown, well, where's J.J. Watt and, well, not J, like these players that is still playing. I'm like, no, you have to be retired for me to say you never won. That means you never got a chance to win, if that makes sense, right? So these is all former players. There's no James Harden on this list, and there's no Chris Paul. They can't make a list if you still out there shooting a basketball. Make sense? Just wanted to put that little disclaimer in there. But there you have it. My top 5 NBA players of all time never to win an NBA Finals. Tell me what y'all think. Should Karl Malone be number 1? I want to hear that. I want to hear what y'all think as far as this list. Who should be number 1? Where my top 5 ranked? Graded from A to F. You know I could take it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment on this video, and tap that bell so y'all can know when I got more lists like this, more talking points, and just downright freedom of speech, dialogue. Y'all know coming from yours truly, I always keep it real. Till next time, I see y'all. Peace.